Hey Jack, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
We are live here from the 19th annual Oscar qualifying, said that, HollyShorts Film Festival, sitting with Ramone Menon.
How you doing, Haley?
The director. Sorry, you go ahead.
Oh yeah, nice to see you. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Haley. Thank you to the great team for having us. Our whole team is having a good time at HollyShorts. I'm surprised I made it on time, so...
You did make it.
Yeah.
You made it right on time.
I thought I was going to be late.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You are the director of a film called My Scary Indian Wedding.
Yes.
Which sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, it is scary, it is Indian, and it does have a wedding in it, so I think it's one of those movies where the title is the logline and the tagline all at the same time.
However, I did read the logline earlier, and it sounds amazing. Will you give it to us? I want to hear it from the mouth of the director.
Sure.
Okay.
The movie's about a cursed bridesmaid who has to track down and marry her soulmate in order to escape the wrath of a vengeful demon called the Manglik, and all this takes place during her best friend's wedding.
So the Manglik puts a curse on her.
Yes. So
Okay.
So what happens is her friend, the bride, her best friend, the bride, and her, on the night before the wedding, they've had a couple of drinks. It's after like one of the, Indian weddings have like 10 parties.
Right.
So after one of the parties, the bride tells her best friend, the bridesmaid, there's an app called Matchmaker, and it tells you if you have a Manglik, if you're a cursed woman, like basically saying that if you have a Manglik, you're going to bring bad luck to your future husband and his family. And since our main character, Asha, feels that she's kind of jilted in life, she's unlucky in love. She thinks, okay, I probably have a Manglik, and they think it's like a fun thing to mess with. I feel like you're gonna start unleashing some stuff. So this is in that vein of movie. It's one of those cursed demon films that once the curse is out, the ghost comes after her.
Is a Manglik is this a monster you created, or is this a phrase that people use to say I have a Manglik?
Yeah, well, it is. In India, there's this thing where if a woman and a man, but basically more women have this problem where if they're born in a particular day under a particular star sign astrologically, they're considered a Manglik, which is unlucky for their first marriage, for their first husband, their first husband's family.
Okay.
So, and there's like a social stigma to this. It's a marital social stigma that exists in India. So that is something that I thought that would be a fascinating horror movie.
Yeah.
To do that, but then I was like, I wanted to scare the shit out of people as well. I'm a big fan of movies like Insidious and The Conjuring and all that, like The Night House. So I thought we have to personify this social stigma with a demon. So I was like, okay, I'm going to create a goddamn demon.
Right.
Very
Yeah. And in the vein of scaring people, you had a lot of VFX involved in creating this demon, didn't you?
We not so much VFX actually. I'm a big believer and fan of practical effects.
Same.
Okay.
So we had our actress Anna Chavez. She's fantastic. She's worked with us before. She played the Manglik, which is, we just put her in the most basic, the creepiest nightmare that I could come up with. I was like, I'm going to take that and personify it. I think we did a little bit of work on her eyes with the VFX just to kind of make it a little bit creepier, but that's about it. Yeah, but that's her on set being creepy as hell.
What kind of conversations did you have with her to make sure she was making that monster the scariest monster she could make?
I said, just look at the camera, tilt your head down, and kind of give the Jack Nicholson look. And I think that's creepy enough. If it's good enough for Kubrick, I'm sure it's good enough for us.
So you gave her some touch points of, popular films she may have seen.
Oh, yeah. And then, of course, I just said, just be as creepy as hell. And she's worked with me before, so she knows how to kind of build it up. And she brings her own talent. She's like a contortionist as well. So...
Very cool.
You mentioned your costume designers had a task.
Oh, yes.
What was the task?
So, well, None of them. Our costume designer is a wonderful designer named Tia Liu.
Okay.
And her assistant Chanel, both of them, they read the script, and Tia was like, okay, this is a challenge. I'm not Indian. Tying these things are going to be tough.
Right.
But it sounds colorful because that's the look that we were going for, like a very colorful but a contrasty movie. So we decided to, I said, okay, Tia was, her work stands up really well, but she's never done an Indian thing before. So she took a lot of time and a lot of pain figuring out how to tie the saris, how to source them, how to color coordinate. The Manglik outfit was tough because that was a different type of sari, because there's the whole wedding sari thing, and then there's the alenga, which is a different thing that the bridesmaids would wear, and then there's the Manglik stuff, which is this very rural kind of almost like our throwback to the old Japanese and Asian horror, like Onibaba, and I wanted to do some stuff like that. So coming up with those 3 outfits, and of course the groom's outfit, that was tough. It took some time for them to figure it out, but she made it seem like she was an expert, and she's pretty much, I turned her into an Indian.
Oh, cool. Great.
And
That's
so, I mean, I think it's really phenomenal when any movie is able to impart upon its audience a sense of just even one small aspect of the culture that represents the movie, but even cooler to not only do that for your audience, but for the people actually involved in the movie and the crew themselves. Can you tell us a little bit about what that was like, both, I mean, just practically, but also emotionally, conveying that in real time to your crew and imparting that kind of cultural understanding and walking through that process with them?
Oh yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time prepping the movie, so we definitely had a lot of the script was sent out to everyone, and I started giving them cultural touchstones. I said, look, I want you guys to bring your experience and try to use that into this culture, because I didn't want to just hire the whole Indian crew, because I was that could bring something authentic, but this could be bringing something interesting. Because I definitely wanted to make an Indian American horror movie, not an pure just Indian horror movie. So I thought bringing a multinational crew from, I mean, in LA is filled with, it's a melting pot. So bringing that, the experience of all these guys and guys and girls who've already done so much work with me, and just in general, I felt it was very interesting, and they loved it. They honestly dug in. They did their own research, and they figured it out, and I felt like that was a good mix of the Indian and the American side of things being brought together.
Love hearing that decision, you were so mindful about it, and that it was motivated for the sake of the story.
Oh, totally, yeah, because it was Indian American, so I was like, let's be particular about it.
So we have to wrap it up now.
Sure.
It's been so wonderful chatting with you, Ramone. Unfortunately for us, this film screamed hopefully last night at 10 p.m. But you can still catch it on BitPix, which you definitely should be doing. Great to meet you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Haley.
Thanks everyone for
Jack.
joining us.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys. Enjoyed HollyShorts.
See you soon.
Bye. This has been another special episode of the Cinematography for Actors podcast. We are here live at the 19th annual Oscar qualifying HollyShorts Film Festival through August 20th. Follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts, and if you are here at the festival, come up to the VIP lounge and say hi.
We also want to give a huge thank you and shout out to our sponsors, which we have so many to help us put this together, and that is Apogee Film Tools, Roscoe, Lightstone Rentals, Canon, and First Mile Technology for the awesome Wi-Fi hookup. As a special gift to our CFA listeners, we have partnered with a company called We Make Movies, you may be familiar with them, to offer discounted production services, including access to comprehensive production insurance and workers' comp for your next shoot. Visit wemakemovies.org/insurance and use code CFA23 on your next intake form for 10% off your quote. We are making filmmaking more accessible. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time on the Cinematography for Actors podcast. Thanks all. Bye.